Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Chad from Chad DIY, and today is another new laser day in the shop. Today we will be reviewing the Creality Falcon 10 watt laser. Now this is my second Creality laser cutter. Before I review the Falcon 2 22 watt laser, which is a little bit more high-end, really robust laser. This is more of the budget-friendly model. It's got a little bit smaller frame. It is a 10 watt laser instead of a 22 watt. But one of the key features that this still has is this integrated air assist. Now this is a great feature. You can turn it off and on in light burn. So if you want to have it on for cutting and off for engraving, you can do that. Now in my mind, this is a super key feature to have. Air makes such a difference, especially with cutting, that you want to have that feature. It's nice to be able to turn it off and on. So with all that being said, let's get started assembling this laser. All right, so I have all my pieces laid out. My initial impression is the build quality looks to be pretty good. So this looks like about maybe 3/4 inch aluminum extrusion, I think they call it. I've seen other laser cutters where it's all like this, but they do have some thicker side rails, which looks good. Once again, this 10 watt laser module, pretty small. I don't know how that matters. I've seen other laser cutters, 10 watt as well, that are quite a bit larger. So we'll see how that does. But yeah, I think it's just gonna kind of bolt together on the corners. So let's get started with that. So it's all assembled. I got the power hooked up to it. You just kind of plug that in on the side. I still have to just run the air assist, which is simply just a tube that goes in the air assist. As far as cable management or air hose management, probably a few zip ties will work for that. But now that took about maybe 45 minutes to get to this step, maybe a little less than that. And now we're going to go over to the software side of things. So I'm going to use Lightburn for this. And in the past, with some machines, I've had trouble syncing it up to Lightburn. I'm hoping this is going to be pretty quick, but let's see how it goes. All right, let's try to connect this thing up here. So I'm going to devices. We'll set find my laser. Nothing's popping up, which is probably not too big a deal. Let's try just my generic setting that I have in the past here. Put a circle there. And yeah, so that, you can't see the laser, but the laser is reacting now. I can frame up that circle, and so it seems to be working just fine off that. I'll try my old Creality setting as well for the Falcon 2. That's working just fine. So yeah, it's good to go. So I ran just to try to find my device. It did not show up. However, I was able to just use my generic profile. It worked just fine. I also tried the other profiles I have in there. I have an X tool, I have another Creality profile in there. And so they kind of worked off that. I think the main difference is going to be the bed size of if you have a different bed size, it can kind of screw things up a little bit. But it seemed to connect pretty well, so let's get started doing some cutting. I'm going to transfer this machine into my enclosure to get rid of the fumes, so we'll start doing that. All right, so I have it ready to go to my enclosure. The first thing I like to do with Lightburn is do a test card, kind of see where my settings are going to be at. So we'll load that up in the software, and then we'll do our first cut. All right, now I'll make my test card here, go to material test. Select that. Just kind of going with the presets on those, kind of frame it out there. And yeah, I can start the card here. So now that I did the test card for the cut settings, I know where our settings need to be. So I'm going to kind of cut out some random shapes just to kind of see how the process works. Now I'm going to pull up the line file I like to use. This really works well for trying to see how the detail works on these diode lasers. So I'm going to frame it on the laser itself and can start the job. All right, so we have our little line here. Did an excellent job. Those small wattage diode lasers, you just can't beat them for engraving. That's what they are wonderful at. Even in more of a budget model like this, they just do an amazing job at engraving. Now for the final test we're gonna do, I'm gonna do an engraving and a cut around it. I'll use my logo, the Chad DIY logo, and then I'll just cut a circle around it. So we'll try that next. All right, so we'll try one last project. I think we're going to try to do a little door sign. It's kind of headed into at least where I live. We're going to get snow pretty soon, winter time, so let's try one of those. So I cut everything out very nicely. In full disclosure, I am going to have my wife paint and glue all this together. So once I have her do that, I'm going to show you the finished product and we'll go from there. So this Hello Winter sign turned out great. That's what I love about these 10-watt lasers. It's perfect for that 3mm basswood plywood that I like to use. It's got that really fine, small laser head with the 10-watt, so you get that fine, intricate detail. Cuts that 3mm thickness just fine, and I'm really happy with the results. Now, I have been really impressed with the machine. The integrated air assist is awesome. It also has a key feature, emergency shutoff. Some of these features you usually see on more high-end lasers, so kind of more of a budget model like this, you get a lot of bang for your buck, that's for sure. Now, if you do have any questions on this laser cutter, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you're interested in this, I'll provide my affiliate link. Now, if you do use that link, I get a little kickback. You're going to get the best price available. It's kind of a win-win. So I really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. So with all that being said, we'll see you on the next one.